Welcome to Jets Rewind, and this is Marty Shupak. I'm joined by Ralph Sharega in Boston. Ray Clifford, who is out in California right now. Ray, what city are you in?
I'm in a town called Eagle Rock, which is basically right next to Glendale, California.
Okay. I see. Glendale's big. All right, and I'm in Valley Cottage, New York, our home studios, and we're recording this on Friday night. I guess it's August 6th, the night before the infamous green and white scrimmage,
which is always a real disappointment.
Better known as touch football with shoulder pads.
It's not even flag football.
Oh my God, it's terrible. It really is. But we have a lot to talk about. We had a full week of practice. We're gonna.
I know I'm exhausted.
Have a trivia question. Before we do, I just want to read one thing. I got a tweet from Ray's buddy, Rich Samini, right before we came on. Guard Alex Lewis, who left practice yesterday with what was called a head injury, has been placed on the exempt/left squad list, which I don't know what that means.
Whatever it means someone else has a chance to step up.
The team has received a roster exemption for him. Right tackle George Fan has been removed from the COVID-19 list.
Well,
so
for me, that meant he ain't coming back anytime soon. That's for sure.
That's what it sounds like. All right, Ralph, you have one of your
trivia time. Yes.
Trivia time. Okay.
Okay. In the year 2015, how many Jets made the Pro Bowl, and can you name them?
2015.
2015.
Yeah. I'll give you a hint. That was the year Ryan Fitzpatrick had a great year.
That was Ryan Fitzpatrick?
That was his big year, yeah.
Okay. I know one of them.
That was Todd Bowles' first year, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, I got one of them.
Todd Bowles, man, he just got a big contract.
Big contract extension. Yeah, good thing.
Todd Bowles is a classic example of a guy who's a really good coordinator, but he's not a good coach. Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, he's a good guy.
That's fine, man.
Yeah.
Although Bill Belichick, it took him his second shot. Maybe Bowles his next chance. He probably will get another chance.
Going back, the classic was the Giants' Arnsparger. I remember from
right. Yeah.
Years ago. Our young listeners don't know who he is. He was the coordinator for Don Shula. He was unbelievable. But as the
no-name defense, they were absolutely amazing. With lack of talent, they were so together, that team.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get to the Jets right away. Every day, guys, it seems it's Lawson more Lawson more. These guys, it's all you hear. I heard the best quote, though, I liked was from Connor Hughes. He said he's been going into practice now, trying to focus on something else, but his eyes keep going over to Elijah Moore. He's just the guy's been unbelievable. So besides those two, could we come up, each of us, 3 players who have excited us so far? Is this right now, or we're excited about moving forward? So just
so far up until now, they've excited you. They've made you feel like there might be something there with these guys.
Okay, I'll go first. One to me is obvious. I'm the head of the Bryce Huff fan club. He's been having a very, very good preseason. When they put him in there, he's been doing the job. He actually did the job last year. I've said this before on the show. He didn't play a lot of snaps, but if you look at the quality, he gave the Jets some really good quality.
I just watched about a couple of minutes of his highlights from last year, which aren't that many, but the guy made plays. I mean, he's going to be. I think he's going to be a player.
He made plays, which is incredible. I'm trying to think of 2 other players.
Oh, you're doing it on the fly here?
Well, I wrote it down. I don't think I understood the question from what we've seen or heard, because I wrote down Denzel Mims. But but obviously
wrong category.
Right. But I'll tell you what, Michael Carter, and I've been on the bandwagon with him. And the reason with Michael Carter I like is because just like yesterday or the day before, he dropped 2 passes, and then all of a sudden he catches a pass and he splits the defense, goes for a touchdown. So let's say I'm excited about those 2 with a question mark on Mims. Okay, Ray, what 3 players are you excited about? besides Carl Lawson and Elijah Moore?
I want to see what Davis does as a linebacker that we brought in.
Jared Davis.
Excited that our linebacking core might actually be way improved over last year. And I was going to say Michael Carter too on offense, but
You're allowed.
well, I know, but I thought maybe change it up a little. I also want to see how so, and this isn't just about rookies, right? This is anybody, right?
Anybody, yeah.
I'm kind of interested to see how far, now I'm blanking on his name, the guy we picked up from Buffalo, the tight end, might push Herndon.
Tyler Croft, yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler Croft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler Croft. I think he could really push things. So,
Yeah. He's actually a very good pick, and he actually made a nice play the other day, diving for a ball, which I
what was the other thing? Disappointing?
Well,
Not
let me
yet.
do mine
let
first.
Ralph do his.
Yeah, you guys covered most of mine. Tyler Croft, I have. I think right. That's a crowded tight end room, but I think he's the number one tight end right now. I think by the middle of the season, he and Herndon will be 1 and 1A. Herndon's beginning to show a little more.
Yeah.
But Marty, I remember Marty. You said that you liked Croft as a signing. You thought he was a little under the radar, and
Yeah.
I think he's a solid professional guy. Jared Davis. I like Jared Davis from the start. He's got physical talent. I think he was just in a bad situation with Patricia in Detroit. He's intense. He's like Carl Lawson. He got into a fight the other day. I think you need some of that on defense.
Yeah.
So I'm really kind of high on him. And the two Bryces, Bryce Huff, who I loved out of college, and I think that guy's a player. He's similar size actually to Lawson. I kind of thought that that Salah wanted bigger defensive ends, but as Salah says, good players come in all shapes and sizes. And now that Franklin Myers is hurt, Huff's got a shot now to really put his stamp on that position. And Bryce Hall, I think Bryce Hall.
Yeah.
I think he's one of their two corners. I think then the next one will be next year, their first pick in the draft. But they've got all these other guys. And you've got to figure maybe one of them will play. Well, we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Well,
but,
yeah, Ralph, it's funny you mentioned Tyler Croft. You were on vacation, and I mentioned to Ray that a few years ago, I guess it was with Cincinnati, he had 7 TD receptions.
I think we hurt Ray's feelings.
And no cats, right, Ray?
What was that?
No cats this week.
No, but there's dogs, but I made her put them in the other room.
So anyway, Ralph, he had like 7 TD receptions with Cincinnati.
Right, yeah.
And I looked up, guess when the last time a Jet tight end had 7 TD receptions?
Mickey Schuler.
Close. Rich Caster.
Rich Caster.
Is that unbelievable? All those years? It's unbelievable. Think about it.
They just have a lot of unbelievable stats in their history. I hate to say it.
Yeah, it's just incredible.
And the fact that Ryan Fitzpatrick is their record holder for quarterbacks as far as touchdown passes goes.
Okay,
it's
Ray,
embarrassing.
I'm going to have you go first on the next one, but I just want to ask Ralph one thing. You mentioned that they're going to probably go for a cornerback with one of their first round picks. They have 2 of them. And again, I don't want to digress from the Jets too much. This guy at LSU, Stingley, I've been reading a lot of pub about him. Do you know anything about him? Is he related to the other Stingley?
He is. I think he's a son. He's a junior. Yeah, to poor Daryl Stingley.
What's his name? Derek Stingley?
No, it's Daryl. It's Daryl Jr.
Oh, it is that.
Or maybe, or is it Derek? I don't know. Well, we'll know more. The funny thing is that LSU has 2 guys who are considered first-round picks in their defensive backfield. They're 2 corners, and their pass defense last year was one of the worst in the country. Go figure that.
Wow, maybe we should draft them both with our number 1 picks. Okay, all right, Ray.
Yes.
We're going to go 180 degrees from the last question. 3 players who have disappointed you so far in the training camp.
Mims, Marty's favorite for being
Well, you know, if it weren't for Mims, Jet fans wouldn't have anything to get all bent out of shape over right now. So, I mean, he's really serving a purpose.
Yeah, they need somebody to gripe about. Mims has been the one who I really want to see on the field, and I haven't. I know Marty will probably say Becton. Becton hasn't disappointed me because he's going against Lawson, and I think this is the best thing that could happen to.
No, you'll see more, but go
Oh,
ahead.
absolutely. Absolutely.
But Lewis obviously just, has been even more of a bum than I thought he would be. So
Which
I guess
Lewis?
we'll go with Alex Lewis, and then Alex Lewis, and then so far, I haven't been impressed with. I was going to say, you can't say one of the DBs, and I can't think of his name now.
You
I was
disappointed?
going to say Guidry, but it wasn't Guidry. I was
Bless
thinking.
Austin?
Yes, Bless Austin has disappointed me.
He's actually, I think from what I've read and seen, the last two practices, though, he's come up.
Yeah, he's starting to come back, but I expected him to be a lot sharper just out of the gate.
Yeah. I'm going to go, Ralph. Well, I hope I don't really shock you guys. One of the disappointments right now for me is Morgan Moses. From what I've read, his pass blocking has been really below average. And
he's making Bryce Huff look good.
Bryce Huff has gone around him like I used to go around Ralph.
Oh, yeah, that's the question. Is it because of Huff or because of Moses?
Yeah.
But,
could be a little bit of a combination of both. So I hope he could straighten that out.
He always had the reputation of being a better run blocker.
Much better run blocker, right. Yeah. And look, the guy's a great locker room guy, but he's got to pass protect, I mean, from what I hear, a lot of the training camp, the pocket has just collapsed too many times from what I hear. Now, again, the defense is always ahead of the offense in training camp. We know that. So hopefully it'll take time. Hopefully they'll communicate all that stuff. But he's one. And I had some high hopes for Captain Morgan, the quarterback, and I'm a little disappointed. He's looked better the last couple of days, but I was really hoping they could play him and maybe flip him for like a third or fourth round pick as the quarterbacks start to go down in the NFL. And the last one, I just threw one in there. The kicker, Chris Nager from SMU. He wasn't bad yesterday, but he's been a lot worse than I thought he'd been. I thought he would have been a lot more competitive. So those are my three: Morgan Moses, Captain Morgan, Chris Nager. They've disappointed me so far. All right, Ralph, you're up.
Good. So I got three fresh faces here.
Good.
Kenny Yeboah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping for a little more from him. They paid him a lot of money, and right now he's way down on the depth chart. And I'd be surprised if they cut him because they paid him a tremendous amount for an undrafted free agent. But he needs to step up. Ashton Davis. Zuniga, I'm not surprised. I didn't expect anything from him. I think he's just an injury-prone guy. Ashton Davis, I thought, really excited to see what he could do this year. I'm feeling like he's got some Dean Milner disease in him. He's just been hurt. He's always hurt. It's just it's disappointing. And the third guy, I'm not so much disappointed as I wonder where he is. That's Jamie Sherwood. I have not heard one word about that guy from columnists, from coaches. He was their first draft pick after all the offensive guys. And Ray, if you really want steam to come out of your ears, I don't know if you've been aware about Trey Smith.
No,
he's playing with the first teamers and he's getting some real good press.
Yeah.
If we had hair, we'd be pulling it out. It was, they had so many opportunities to get him.
Every round. Right up until he was taken, I'm like, he's still there. He's still there. Nope.
And by the way, Ray, you might have been traveling out to California from Ohio, but believe it or not, there was a Blake Cashman sighting during the week.
Yes, he made I guess got an interception. Yeah.
What do you do? Trip over somebody and make a tackle?
I think it was a tip pass that he intercepted and went and took it in for a score.
Wow.
So I thought that was really good. All right, now look, this is the time we're going to do Marty's quick trivia. Okay, Ray, you're looking up what happened. Are they
I
bombing?
was going to let you guys know. I was waiting to see what would happen. The women's marathon is going on in the Olympics, and the American girl was sticking right with the leaders here until the last mile. She's dropped back just a little bit, but God, I thought we might have the biggest upset of get the Somalian or whatever Ethiopian marathon machine out of the lead.
I haven't watched.
Let those Somalians win something.
I haven't watched anything though. Last night I saw this interesting game. They call it handball.
Yeah,
It looked pretty. Ralph, it looked like a game we played at camp.
When are they going to have stickball in the Olympics?
I
That's
don't
what I
know.
want
All
to
right.
know.
Quick trivia.
With a broomstick.
well, not, and I'm pretty sure I heard this correctly. I think next Olympics, cornhole will be one of them.
Oh,
Great.
Beer Olympics.
I'm going to get that extra channel for that.
How
one.
great is that?
all right. The theme this week for Marty's quick trivia is the Jets coordinators.
Oh, God.
Mike LaFleur, the offensive coordinator, this is an easy one, attended Elmhurst College in Illinois. He played quarterback in 2006, 2007. But in 2008, he was captain and started 10 games at another position. What was the other position? So you could guess at it.
Nose tackle.
No. Come on. It's not you.
Gunner on the special teams.
Ray? Take a guess. Safety. You're absolutely right. He
I
started.
knew it.
You knew that? No, he started 10 games at safety, and we all know that he's the brother of Matt LaFleur, who went to Saginaw Valley State University in Michigan. All right, the next question, Ralph.
Couple
You're
of
gonna
Power
get this
5
one.
schools, yeah.
The defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich, was drafted out of the University of Hawaii in the 3rd round. Now, before that, he went to 2 other colleges, like Elgin Baylor. He went to San Jose State, but he started at a junior college called Gavilan Junior College in Gilroy, California.
Never heard
Only
of it.
one other NFL pro went to Gavilan College. It was a quarterback, pretty well known. Okay, just the hint is the
Aaron Rodgers.
Nope.
Aaron Rodgers went to a community college.
I was just saying,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's located in Gilroy, California. Okay, I'll give you another hint. This quarterback, he's only one of 13 NFL quarterbacks to throw a 99-yard touchdown pass.
He's not around anymore, I assume.
He's not playing now.
Bill Munson.
No, Ray?
He threw a 99 yarder. Wow.
Here's another hint. Hint 3. He's only one of 11 quarterbacks in NFL history who achieved 2 consecutive 30-touchdown passing seasons. And he made the Pro Bowl 4 times in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2007. Give up.
Oh, man.
It's going to kill Ralph. All right, I'll give you the answer. Jeff Garcia.
Oh,
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I was looking at him, and his lifetime passing yardage was over 25,000 yards. He had 161 TDs and 83 interceptions, quarterback rating of 87.5. All right. So
He had that great playoff game against the Giants. Remember when they came from way behind?
Yeah, he did.
That was, what's his name? Jeremy Shockey was in that game. He was big, but
Right.
yeah, Garcia had some good years, and he played. He had a good Canadian career too.
He did. You're absolutely right. And he was a assistant coach up there for a while. All right, Ray.
yes.
Let's assume Bryce Hall is the starting cornerback. Who do you think is going to be opposite him when they're in Carolina in the first game?
As much as he's disappointed me, I still think it'll be Bless Austin unless he, really tanks it during the preseason games. I think he's the one best suited to start anyway. Whether or not he'll still be there by the end of the year, I don't know. But starting, I think it'll be Austin.
Ralph?
Yeah, I agree. You know, someone the other day asked Sal if you think about rotating cornerbacks, and he said, no, he said that doesn't work. And try that.
No.
So my question is, because I think it'll be Austin too, is, you know, if Austin doesn't do well a few games into the season, which one of those other guys steps up and takes his spot? You know, that's
Well, yeah, I said Austin, but I said he'll be replaced. But Ralph, that's a good point. And I circled as possible replacements Brandon Eccles and Isaiah Dunn. I've heard some good stuff about Eccles this week, that he's really been doing well. So
he's fast.
yeah, but Dunn, I heard more about at the beginning. I haven't heard much about him lately.
Yeah. I still like Jason Pinnock. I like his range, and I've seen him make some nice plays.
I like him. Has he done much?
Yeah, he's made some plays. I've seen him make pass defend some plays and break up some. I think it's one of those three guys. I say by the end of the year, one of those three guys has a starting spot. I don't know which one, but you know, Eccles has been, he's been the flavor of the week this week, though.
Yeah.
Well, they gave Dunn first team reps this week too.
Right.
You know, I like the way he does it. You know, he's like, he wants to give these guys a chance with the first team to see what they can do. It's good.
Ralph, do you think Robert Saleh is, I mean, he's kind of dynamic, but do you think he's too politically correct the way he's treating the players? I mean, and again, and I guess, you know, there was an extreme case this week with Giant Camp where there was a huge team rumble, a fight, and they asked Saleh, and he, you know, he gave a politically correct answer, you know, about that sort of thing, about making guys run. But do you think he's, you know, look, it's we're not in the Vince Lombardi era, but should there be a little bit of Vince Lombardi and Bill Parcells that he brings into training camp?
I think, you know, I think coaches have to be who they are. I think they can. I think that's one of the reasons so many of Belichick's coaching tree has failed, because they all went into these other teams, tried to be Bill Belichick and not themselves, and it didn't work. I think Sal is who he is. I think in this day and age, his style is probably more appropriate. You know, I remember Rex Ryan. He wanted to be one of the guys and a clown. I remember that whole hamburger incident. He suddenly got pissed off. It was inconsistent with who he was, and I don't think Sal is going to start, you know, making guys do laps. I think this is the way he coaches, and it's why he gets the respect of the players and they play for him.
Was it a hamburger?
Pete Carroll's pretty much been like that for his career.
Right, he has,
and yeah, he's been around for a while.
and it worked. It's worked.
It works.
Yeah, Ray,
No,
what's your feeling about Saleh and his style?
Saleh said, I think even in his first press conference, that he isn't somebody who's going to sit out there and chew a guy out in front of everybody on the field. He'll take him aside and talk to him and tell him how to do it differently. And, you know, everybody can look at it. You know, sometimes people think you need somebody to be a bit of a taskmaster, but I mean, if you have enough respect, and I think Saleh does, at least at this point, you know, just kind of giving him a talking to. I bet if he has to get in their face more, he would. He's pretty fiery when you watch him, from being the special teams coach or whatever there at San Fran, the guy on the sideline going, you know, kind of ballistic at times when the guys were doing some good stuff. Interesting though, when you say you hate when a coach gets a new coach, tries to act like his predecessor, like the Belichick thing. Remember McDaniel going to Denver and put on the sweatshirt and cut off the sleeves, and I was like, okay.
Fisher was the same way.
Him.
Yeah. And then
You don't really know till the last, and I say this about the quarterback, the last 2 minutes a game when they're down by 4 points. To me, that's when you really find out about a quarterback and a coach. And that's what we'll see with this guy. And again, I'm a little positive. There's one thing that I meant to bring up, because he's from Dearborn, Michigan. And I think he's Lebanese, and they have a big Lebanese population there.
I think so, yeah.
And I think he interviewed with the Lions first. Did the Lions ever offer him the job?
I don't remember that, but I remember all the people talking about him sign here is he really wanted this job. I mean, you can say that after he's been hired, but I thought when he walked out the door from our interview, I was like, well, that's it. He's not signing here. They let him out of the building. But everything I heard was he wanted this one. So.
Well, the one thing I'll say is he looks incredibly comfortable as head coach.
Yeah.
And he has all the answers. Okay. The next question is who's going to win the slot corner between Javelin Guidry and Michael Carter II? Okay. I'm going to go first. I have a affinity for Javelin Guidry, but from what I've read, it sounds like Michael Carter II is going to take that spot. And listen, may the best man win. If he's better, then give him that spot. He's supposed to be a very intelligent guy from what I hear. So
well, he's a Dookie,
Yeah, from Duke. So just like Jamison Crowder, right? Is Jamison Crowder from Duke? Yeah. So
yeah,
I would say
Dookies on the Jets. Wow. And then you got what's his name across the street, Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Michael Carter II. Ralph, who do you say?
I'm gonna agree with you on that. Yeah, I think it's funny. Ray and I were so frustrated they didn't trade Trey Smith, but they got the linebacker / safety whose name we can't pronounce, Carter, and all those cornerbacks. Maybe they'll get some mileage out of some of these later picks. They look like they're doing well. I don't know if it's just that there's nobody else there, but I have hope for this draft.
Yeah. And go ahead, Ray.
Before I answer, a quick update. We didn't win, but our girl came in third, so we got a bronze in the marathon, and she only finished about 26 seconds back. So that was pretty good. She hung pretty well for the temps over there in the hundreds. But anyway, back to the football. I know they're going to go with the guy they drafted, at least eventually, I think, unless he's a bum. And I think eventually it will be Carter. But I think Guidry's shown enough that he might actually, I could see him being the starter out of the gate. End of the year, I'm not going to, who knows. But I think he's got a shot to be the starter on opening day if he keeps playing the way he did so far in camp.
Yeah, he's got the speed. All right, as we enter the fourth quarter, I wrote down a question. We'll go through it pretty quickly. I want us to name on defense who we want to be the front seven, not who we think is going to be the front seven. So I'm going to go first. Okay, left defensive end Carl Lawson, the two tackles Sheldon Rankins, Queenan Williams, and the right defensive end, I'm putting Bryce Huff, but I put in parentheses Ronald Blair III.
There's a guy I haven't heard his name also. I forgot about it.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy, and he might end up starting on the PUP list because I think he's coming off an injury. But if you look at his play before he was injured, he was coming on strong. Then he got injured. Linebackers, I have Jared Davis, C.J. Mosley, and he's not that big, but I put the guy whose name we can never pronounce, Hamza Nizil Dean, who's only 6'3", 215. But
I'll probably build him up a little.
Yeah, if you look up what he did in college, he was in the box a lot. So, and again, he's coming off an injury, and when they did the senior day, he didn't do a couple of things because he didn't feel he was at his best physically. I'm hoping that he's going to start the season, unlike Bryce Hall, who missed the first few games. So that's my front seven. Ray, who do you like?
Why don't you let Ralph go? I'm still debating.
Okay, go ahead, Ralph.
I mean,
he didn't do his homework, Ralph.
Yeah. Well, that's that California lifestyle. That's really laid back. Yeah, I mean, the only differences I have, I agree with you on the linebackers. Foley Fadakazi, he's awfully good against the run, and he's playing great in the training camp. So I think, he's going to be rotating, and that's a three-man rotation, those three guys in the middle. And I also think I like Bryce Huff very much. But I also like Franklin Myers. I don't know how badly he's hurt, how long he's going to be out for. But, I know that Salah, unlike cornerbacks, he does like to rotate his linemen to keep him fresh, which I think is a great idea. Because the thing that drives you nuts is, your defensive line plays great for 3 quarters. Then in the fourth quarter, the quarterback's coming from behind. He's throwing on every pass, and they start getting exhausted. They can't rush the passes. So I think the depth on the defensive line is going to be great. I haven't heard much about the rookie Marshall. Have you?
No, I haven't heard his name once. To be
I mean, he
honest.
looked like a good player on film, but no, he might take a year for him.
I heard about this guy, Ralph and Ray. I haven't heard him in a while, but he was an undrafted free agent from Rutgers. I guess is Michael Dwanfor.
Yeah,
He did well in the OTAs, and he had a first or second day. He looked pretty good, but I haven't heard his name since. So we'll have to see.
I got a lot of guys that are going to be cut that they seem to like.
Yeah, and Ralph, you had the last question before we get to your trivia question, as we're going to close this out. That who will be the best defensive lineman this year? So that includes against the run and against the pass.
Right.
Before we do that, let me give you another quick one. You ready? A quick cue. All right. With sacks, who would you take? Quinnen Williams and Carl Lawson combined, or the field? Ray. Total sacks. You have Quinnen Williams and Carl Lawson together, their sacks, or the rest of the field?
I'll go with the field. I don't know. I'd like to see Lawson finish more, and he talks about that maybe this year he'll get to him more. That's a part of his focus. But if he's the Lawson of past years, then he'll get a lot of pressure, but not a lot of sacks, and push him to other guys. So, so I'm going to go with the field on that one.
All right, Ralph.
I mean, I think Lawson's going to get double-digit sacks, but I'll still go with the field. If say he gets 10 or 11 and Quinnen Williams gets 10 or 11, that's pretty good. That's 20. I would hope that the Jets are going to get, at least twice that. I would be a little disappointed if they don't.
I'm going to go with Williams and Lawson. I think Lawson's going to turn a lot of those pressures into sacks.
I'll be happy if he does.
And the other thing is, I have a feeling Quinnen Williams is going to have to play himself into shape for a couple of games.
Yeah. I knew he was going to be ready right away when they said he was.
Yeah, well, I'm happy that they're really taking the cautious approach.
Yeah. All right. Best defensive lineman. Go ahead, Ralph.
I'm going to go with Lawson just because of what I said. I think it'll take Williams a couple of games to get. And I just think this is Lawson's breakout year. I mean, it just seems like he's in his own. He's in a new system that works for him. He's got the guys in the middle who are going to put pressure up the middle, and I think this is his breakout year. The league learns about him.
Ray, who do you like? Best defensive lineman?
Well, I don't want to. I think everybody'd say Lawson if they could. I'm going to hope that Quinnen Williams benefits from Lawson and has just a monster year, and that's going to be barring injuries, obviously. But if he stays on the field, I think Quinnen Williams could just build on last year and go even further. So I'm going to go with Quinnen.
I'm going to agree with Ray. I'm going to say Quinnen Williams. He'll be the best lineman this year.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a good thing, a good position to be in for the Jets. We haven't had this in a while.
You're kidding.
I could just hope they don't jump off sides 5 times a game. I think it's fair.
As long as they have 6 sacks a game.
All right. Ralph's classic trivia, Ralph. Let's repeat the question.
Question is, in 2015, that was the Ryan Fitzpatrick year, world record-breaking year. How many Jets made the Pro Bowl? Can you name them?
Ray, you want to go first? Or I came up with one.
I can only think of 2 that might have, and I'm not even sure that's right. So I'm going to go with 2.
Go ahead, Ray. Name them. I thought of one.
Fitz and Marshall.
Oh, I just said Brandon Marshall. I don't think Fitz made it.
Believe it or not, they were 5.
5?
There were more.
Yeah.
Actually. I couldn't think of who was on our defense.
How come we didn't win the Super Bowl, Ralph?
Well, if Fitz didn't have a bad game against Buffalo.
The other 3 were on special teams.
Yeah. No, none of them are special teams.
Hey,
All right, let's hear some names.
go ahead.
Marshall.
Marshall, definitely. He probably had the best year in the history of the Jets as a wide receiver.
Oh, he did. He did, without
Yeah.
a doubt. But go ahead, name him, Ralph, as the clock is.
Fitz
winding
didn't make it.
No,
I
Fitzpatrick
thought
did
he might
not
have been
make
an alternate.
it. Yeah. Mo Wilkerson,
Oh,
Yeah.
Revis, which surprised me. I guess he had that one. Mangold, and the last one is the hard one. Chris Ivory.
Chris Ivory had a
Wow,
great
yeah,
year.
yeah.
That's a good.
Jets had a good year. That was their last good year.
Yeah.
Until this year.
Yeah. for sure.
Wasn't that the horrid Buffalo game by
Yeah,
Fitz?
yeah. They would have won the Super Bowl. If,
Yep. We had everybody scared.
Yeah.
All right, listen, Jet fans, enjoy the green and white scrimmage tomorrow night. Hopefully, let's hope, as usual, there are no injuries. That's what we want to come away with. And
Well,
then-
like you said, I think it's touch football, Mark.
and then- yeah, and then a week from Saturday, we will be playing the Giants. I can't wait for that. For Ralph
Where's
Sharega,
that game going to be played, by the way?
Yale Bowl. Ralph Sharega, Ray Clifford, and Marty Shupak. And by the way, check out our website, jetsrewind.com. And please give us a 5-star review and like us and all that sort of good stuff. And
We'll send you money.
check out our Jets Rewind YouTube channel. Until next time, go Jets.